Imagine standing at the edge of a still, quiet lake. The surface is so calm that it mirrors the sky above perfectly, reflecting every cloud and star in pristine detail. Now imagine tossing a single pebble into the water. Ripples distort the reflection, making the serene image unclear. This is much like our minds in daily life. Thoughts, worries, and endless distractions ripple through us, distorting our perception of reality. But what if you could quiet those ripples, still the water, and experience clarity and peace beyond anything you've known before? In this video, we'll explore the power of silence, diving deep into a Buddhist and Zen story that will reveal how silence is not just an absence of noise, but a profound and transformative force. It's a journey that will show you how to connect with your true self, how to see life clearly, and how to embrace the world with wisdom and compassion. Stay with me as we uncover the deeper meaning of silence through the teachings of Zen Master Hakuin and the young monk Takashi. Our story begins in a remote Zen monastery nestled high in the misty mountains of Japan. The air here is cool and crisp, the sound of the wind gentle as it moves through the ancient pines. This monastery, like many others, is dedicated to silence. The monks who live here practice deep meditation, tending to their daily chores without a single word spoken, their lives marked by stillness. The head of the monastery, Master Hakuin, is revered far and wide for his wisdom and his ability to communicate great truths without saying much at all. His students come from all corners of the land, drawn not by elaborate teachings or profound discourses, but by the stillness that seems to radiate from his very presence. It is into this silent world that a young monk named Takashi arrives. Takashi, though young, is full of questions. He has studied Zen texts extensively, meditated for countless hours, and yet he feels something is missing. He is constantly searching for something more clarity, more enlightenment, more answers to life's deeper questions. On his first day at the monastery, Takashi is struck by the overwhelming silence. There are no conversations, no lessons being taught in the traditional sense. The monks move about their day in quiet contemplation, their faces serene, their actions deliberate. Takashi grows restless. How can he possibly learn in a place where no one speaks? After a few days of observing this, Takashi decides to approach Master Hakuin. One evening, just after sunset, he finds the master sitting in the meditation hall, his eyes closed, the soft glow of the lanterns casting a peaceful light around him. "Master," Takashi begins, bowing respectfully, "I have come here to learn, but I hear no teachings, no words of wisdom. How can I grow in silence? How can I find the answers I seek if no one speaks?" Master Hakuin opens his eyes slowly and smiles, his expression calm. Without saying a word, he rises from his seat and gestures for Takashi to follow him. The two walk through the quiet monastery grounds, past the meditation hall and into the garden. The night air is cool, and the only sounds are the soft rustling of leaves and the distant chirping of crickets. Master Hakuin leads Takashi to a small, secluded pond. The water is perfectly still, reflecting the moon and the stars in a flawless mirror-like surface. Without a word, Master Hakuin bends down, picks up a small stone, and tosses it gently into the water. Takashi watches as the stone hits the surface, sending ripples outward, distorting the reflection of the sky. The once clear image of the moon becomes blurred, broken by the movement of the water. They stand there in silence for what feels like an eternity. Slowly, the ripples fade, and the water returns to its still state, once again reflecting the sky with perfect clarity. Finally, Master Hakuin speaks, his voice soft but full of meaning. "This is your mind," he says, gesturing to the pond. "When it is filled with thoughts, worries, and distractions, it is like the water when the stone hits it, distorted, unclear. But when it is still, it reflects the truth clearly." Takashi looks at the pond, the surface once again calm and undisturbed. He begins to understand. Silence, he realizes, is not just the absence of sound, it is the stillness of the mind. It is in this stillness that clarity and wisdom arise. Just as the water reflects the sky when it is calm, so too does the mind reflect reality when it is quiet. Have you ever noticed how hard it is to find true silence? Even when we sit in a quiet room, our minds are often racing with thoughts, plans, and worries. But what if, like the pond, we could learn to still our minds? What if we could find a way to stop the endless ripples of distraction and simply be? As you listen to this story, I invite you to think about the noise in your own life. How often do you let the distractions of the world, your thoughts, your worries, blur your vision, making it hard to see things clearly? Stay with me as we continue the story, and you'll discover how silence can reveal truths that words alone never can. In the days that follow, Takashi returns to the pond each morning, meditating in silence, allowing the lesson of stillness to sink deep into his heart. He begins to see that the true challenge is not in achieving silence externally, but internally. His mind, always buzzing with thoughts, begins to settle. With each passing day, he feels the ripples of his thoughts growing smaller, the surface of his mind becoming smoother, more reflective. Takashi's transformation doesn't happen overnight. In the beginning, he struggles. His thoughts race, his doubts creep in, and he often wonders if he will ever truly understand the depth of Master Hakuin's teachings. But with patience and persistence, he begins to notice subtle changes. In moments of silence, he feels a sense of clarity he has never experienced before. He starts to see things as they are, without the distortion of his worries and desires. One day, as he sits by the pond in meditation, something shifts within him. It's not a sudden revelation but a quiet, gentle realization. The answers he has been searching for are not outside of him, they are within. In the stillness of his mind, he feels connected to the world around him, to the flow of life itself. The clarity he sought was never in the words or the teachings, it was in the silence between them. One afternoon, Master Hakuin approaches Takashi with a new challenge. He hands him a Zen koan, a paradoxical riddle meant to break through logical thinking and open the mind to deeper truths. The koan is simple but perplexing. What is the sound of one hand clapping? Takashi is puzzled. He spends days, even weeks, contemplating the question, trying to find the answer. He listens to the wind, to the birds, to the quiet rustle of leaves. He tries to imagine what one hand clapping could sound like, but no answer comes. Frustrated, he returns to Master Hakuin. Master, I cannot find the answer. What is the sound of one hand clapping? Master Hakuin smiles and simply holds up his hand, signaling for silence. In that moment, Takashi understands. The sound of one hand clapping is silence. It is not something that can be grasped by the rational mind. It is something that must be felt, experienced in the stillness. By now, you may be wondering, what is the real lesson here? Is silence simply a retreat from the noise of the world, or is it something more? As we approach the end of this story, I want you to think about how silence plays a role in your own life. Do you see it as a void to be filled, or as a space where wisdom can arise? Stay with me for the final part of this journey, where we'll uncover how silence can transform not just our minds, but our entire way of being. As Takashi's understanding of silence deepens, so too does his appreciation for the subtle, unspoken lessons of Zen. He realizes that the teachings he had been searching for were not in the words of his master or in the scriptures he had studied. The real wisdom was in the silence, in the spaces between words, in the moments of stillness where the mind can see clearly. Years pass, and Takashi eventually becomes a master himself. He teaches his own students the way of Zen, but like Master Hakuin, his teachings are not focused on words. He leads them in silence, guiding them to find their own answers in the stillness of their minds. One day, a young monk comes to Takashi, much like Takashi had once gone to Master Hakuin. The young monk is full of questions, seeking answers to life's great mysteries. Takashi smiles, recognizing his younger self in the boy. Without a word, he takes the monk to the same pond where he once stood with Hakuin. Together, they watch the water, still and clear, reflecting the sky. After a long silence, Takashi speaks, his voice calm and full of understanding. The greatest wisdom is found not in what we say, but in what we don't say. Silence is the space where truth is revealed. As we come to the end of the story, take a moment to reflect on the role of silence in your own life. In a world full of noise, it's easy to overlook the power of stillness. But remember, just as the pond reflects the sky when it is calm, so too does your mind reflect the truth when it is still. Silence is not just a break from the noise, it's a path to wisdom, to clarity, to peace. It's in the moments of stillness that we can hear our true selves, that we can connect with the world in a deeper, more meaningful way. So as you go forward from this video, I encourage you to embrace silence. Whether through meditation, a walk in nature, or simply sitting in stillness, let the quietness guide you. The answers you seek are already within you, waiting to be heard in the silence. Now that you've heard the story, what will you do with it? Will you allow the noise of the world to continue clouding your mind, or will you take a step back and embrace the power of silence? The choice is yours, but I invite you to find moments of stillness in your life. Start with just a few minutes each day. Listen to the silence and see what it reveals. If this story resonated with you, subscribe and share it with others who might benefit from its teachings. Together, we can learn to quiet the noise, still the ripples, and find peace in the silence. Now that we've explored the transformative power of silence, I want to invite you to take this journey with me even further. If this story resonated with you, if you felt the ripple of peace or the stirrings of wisdom, why not make silence a part of your daily practice? Every day offers a chance to connect with that inner stillness, and together we can learn and grow from it. If you found value in this video, don't forget to like it and subscribe to the channel. By doing so, you're not only supporting me but also ensuring you don't miss any future content that can help you deepen your understanding of Zen, Buddhism, and the quiet wisdom life has to offer. Let's build a community dedicated to mindfulness, clarity, and the beauty of silence. And remember to share this video with friends or loved ones who might also benefit from the teachings of silence. We can all help each other find moments of stillness in a noisy world. Thank you for being here, and until next time, may silence guide your path.